Welcome back, True Seeker. Yesterday, May 30th, 2024, as the NBA Finals were pretty much set, as the game was over, it was announced during the last game before the finals began, the day the Dallas Mavericks eliminated Minnesota in Minneapolis. Right as that game was pretty much sealed, they broke the news that the brother of Aaron Gordon, a former basketball player who played briefly with the 76ers in the NBA, Drew Gordon, had died at age 33 in Oregon, which is the 33rd state. And of course, in Gematria, NBA Finals equates to 33. And year after year, we see these very suspicious deaths as championships roll around. The day the Celtics went to the finals, Bill Walton, who finished his career with the Celtics, dropped dead at age 71. We know in Gematria, Celtics equals 71. The finals are going to start on Luke Walton's 71st day of his age, Bill Walton's son. Of course, Bill Walton played at UCLA, as did Drew Gordon. Bill Walton won the only championship for Oregon, where the Portland Trail Blazers are, the 33rd state. And then just days after his death, another UCLA basketball alumni is dead. I was not watching the game last night, but multiple people have told me that when they announced this man's death in the game, they had just shown on the screen that Luka was on 33 points in the game. So I'm going to have to find some footage and verify that myself. But if anybody recorded the game, if you have a clip of that and that is true, I would love to see, well, I not really love to see it, but just another great example of ritual numbers, the timing of things. You remember how North Carolina State went on this Cinderella story and they beat Duke in the tournament just like they beat them in the ACC tournament? And it was announced right as that game was tipping off that R.J. Barrett's brother had died. Again, there's a lot more to that, but this stuff goes on all the time if you pay attention. So again, dead at 33 in the 33rd state as the NBA Finals are set. You bring in the gematria piece, the practice coding numbers into words. NBA Finals equals 33. One of the biggest 33 rituals we've seen all time in the finals was LeBron James being the 33rd, his Cavs being the 33rd team in the situation to be down 3-1 and the first ever to come back and win it. And they did it on the real King James's birthday in the 33 city, Cleveland. But here's the other piece about his brother, Drew Gordon's brother, Aaron Gordon, playing for the Nuggets in Colorado. Nuggets has that gematria 33, his brother's team. And Drew Gordon has died 43 days before his birthday. An interesting number for many reasons, but one of them is that Colorado equals 43. His brother plays for the Denver Nuggets in Colorado. And killing equals 43, and so does RIP. You might recall the whole thing with Trump being taken off the ballot in Colorado in a 4-3 decision, and then him getting reinstated on the 4th day of the 3rd month, which is the old inauguration day. So Drew Gordon, he did play for the New Mexico Lobos as well as the UCLA Bruins. Again, Bill Walton's old school. Dead 43 days before his July 12th birthday. Drew Gordon in gematria equates to 48 and 60. This news broke the day of the Trump guilty verdict. Remember, Donald Trump equals 48 and 60. Alvin Bragg, who took down the braggart, Donald Trump. Alvin Bragg equals 48 and 60. Like indictment, we've been talking about this stuff for over a year with this trial. The big connection. Hollywood 48. This man played in Los Angeles at UCLA. I'll tell you the thing that makes me pull my hair out here. So look at this. The Celtics right now are 79 and 56 in the finals all time. They're 79 and 56. Again, Joe Biden's Secret Service name is Celtic. It's the 60th U.S. presidential election upcoming, right? So the funny thing about this is this young man who's dead, Drew Gordon equals 60. If the Celtics lost 4 games, they'd have 60 losses in the finals all time, like the 60th election. But they could also win 4 games, and then they would have 83 wins in the finals. 83 is the 23rd prime. This is the Celtics' 23rd NBA Finals appearance, and this season began in 2023. this young man's full name, Drew Edward Gordon, equates to 83. So I'll be taking this apart more, but just on the surface, this is the first thing that jumps out to me. I'm like, that's funny that his name has the 60 and 83. And those are the numbers that either the Celtics are going to end up on 83 wins in the finals or 60 losses. And, sometimes that's why some games are harder to figure out than others, because the way the narrative is, it really feels like it's double coded. Sometimes it's just a one-way street. Okay. So it's obvious that he ends. Oh, and by the way, just with regards to how perfect these rituals are, last night when the Mavericks clinched, that was the 77th game of the NBA playoffs this year. Of course, Luka wears 77. Boston has that Gematria 77. We just talked about this with Walton, too. Boston, 77. Those are the four base ciphers if you're new here. You notice Walton and Boston are the exact same in all four ciphers. But think about it. They're comparing Luka Doncic to Larry Bird. Boston going to face Luka number 77. That means the next game is game one of the NBA Finals, June 6th, which will be the Celtics' 78th birthday. This is the 78th season. Again, Boston Celtics are the only team in the league who have a full name, Gematria 78. And for any troll out there who'd be like, well, see, that's the problem with Gematria. No, there's no problem with Gematria. Look how many futures we nailed. We just nailed another future. Before this season began, I said the most likely team to be in the finals is the Celtics. So if you put in a future at the beginning of the year for the Celtics to win the finals, you're in position to win a good amount of money. And that means right now you can hedge your bet and you can put money on the other side with Dallas, and you can make sure that you're absolutely 1,000,000% guaranteed to make a profit. Again, that's called putting yourself in a winning position. So a lot of people in my community are that way who took my advice. Anyhow, again, a perfect number ritual. This is how we started calling the futures, figuring out how it's all rigged by the numbers, the ritual sacrifices and all. But yes, in the 77th playoff game, the finals is set. Boston versus Luka number 77, the guy who's allowed to carry the ball all over the court, because if he wasn't allowed to carry, he wouldn't be able to create any separation because he's as slow as a slug. And that's how dumb the NBA is right now. They have to let a guy violate a fundamental rule of basketball just so he can even exist on the nothing but actors court, which is the real acronym for NBA. Again, yeah, sure, Luka can shoot the ball, but again, they're using technology too, so who even knows if that's the case? He sure as shit can't dribble because he carries every time. It's just sick to watch. He puts his hand all the way under the ball so he can move and juke around because he's too slow. He's too slow. He couldn't do anything if he wasn't allowed to carry. It's the only way you can get separation for a shot. And someday there'll be a decode like this on Luka because all these guys go out by the code. But anyway, RIP to this young man, Drew Gordon. And I don't know how the fans don't wake up. Just these blatant rituals day after day. A 33-year-old in the 33rd state where Bill Walton won it all. And don't forget, UCLA equals 71 like Celtics. Bill Walton's son is Luke, kind of like Luka. Again, the finals start on the 71st day of Luke Walton's age. Go figure. Luke Walton used to play in the NBA, also coached in the NBA. Also, you might have caught it. As soon as the game ended, like boom, as soon as the game's over, Dallas has knocked out Minnesota. National headline, Minneapolis mass shooting. 6 injured, 2 police officers. And now they've gone on and said one of those police officers died. But Minneapolis, 62. Last night, Dallas picked up their 62nd win of the year. 62nd win of the year. And then this headline, I mean, come on. Years ago, when Tom Brady won Super Bowl 51 on the big comeback, we said that game was going to be all about 25 before the game was even played and why Brady would win. Brady wins on the 25-point comeback on 2-5 in the 97th season, the 25th prime, the year they moved the touchback to 25. Go back and look at Tom Brady's box score. You'll see that he had 62 pass attempts. 62 pass attempts. And we said right then he's going to be playing in Minneapolis next year in Super Bowl 52. And then at the beginning of that season, we showed everybody why it was going to be Patriots versus Eagles. Exactly what it was. Because it's all rigged, it's all numbers, and we've done that 1,000 times. But anyhow, again, what are the odds? What are the odds that all this stuff's a coincidence? Why does this stuff happen all the time? Happens all the time, really, when you pay attention. All the time. How about the score of last night's game? Do you guys like that score? 124-103. Do you get the joke? 124-103. Who gets it? That's 227 points. 227 is the 49th prime number. Dallas equals 49. And sure enough, the Timberwolves picked up their 49th postseason loss all time. My call for this series for Mavericks and Timberwolves was that if Luka won game one, Dallas would win the series because game one, Luka came in with 84 postseason triple doubles. It was 84 days after his birthday. Ended up scoring the first bucket. We knew that if the Mavericks won the series, they'd get their 84th win. And then in the East at the time, you had the Carlisle versus Boston, and Carlisle joined the Celtics as a player back in '84. And then they're doing a thing with the NHL in 1984 too. You remember they started the NBA and NHL playoffs on the exact same day for the first time ever in history. But I just want you to see the box score last night from last night's game in light of what we said about 84 before the series began. How many shots did Dallas take last night? 84. And they made 46. Does it remind you of 46-year-old George Floyd from Texas, who died in Minneapolis, who they've been doing a lot of sports rituals with too? And remember, George Floyd died on the corner of 38th Street, and both Minnesota and Mavericks equal 38. Just so happens that Minnesota only made 38 shots last night. They only made 38 in the battle of the 38 teams as Dallas takes the series in an 84 ritual. And sometimes you got to wait to see a game to get the read, but that was the call here. If Luka wins game one, it looks like it's about 84, and it was about 84. And again, we knew it was a big scare for the Timberwolves to potentially pick up their 49th postseason loss because that number plays hard with Dallas, and that's exactly what they did. And then 227 points, the 49th prime. Nothing but scripts. Okay, yesterday we talked about how important 201 was yesterday. It was the 201st day of the Superior General's Age. It was 201 days before the Pope's birthday. Again, if you're new here, 201 is the number of the Jesuits who have their headquarters at the Church of the Jesu, spelled with a G, like the Masonic logo when modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. Yesterday, 50 Cent, the rapper, put out images for the first time of his G-Unit studio, and look at what number he highlighted in his photos. 201. And remember, we just talked about this with him making the joke about how, Jay-Z's going to be having the Diddy treatment here pretty soon too. And he did that joke 201 days from Jay-Z's upcoming birthday. Remember, Diddy's got the same Jesuit prosecutor that R. Kelly had at age 54 right now. And now J-Lo, who used to be with Diddy, who's 54, all of a sudden she's got to cancel her tour in the big 201 ritual. I mean, it's just so obvious once you know what to look for. On the Super 201 day, this is the image that 50 Cent puts out. Come on. And then the very next day, J-Lo got to cancel the tour. And I was talking about this on Wednesday, how Thursday and Friday had similar number rituals with the 201s. Yesterday was the 201st day of the Superior General's Age. Today is 201 days after his birthday. Yesterday was 201 days before the Pope's birthday. Today is a span of 201 days to the upcoming Pope's birthday. Again, Jorge Mario Bergoglio is the name of the Pope. He's the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201. The name of, if you run it the other way, Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 312. Today's 312 days after J-Lo's birthday. And the name of his apartment, Suite 201, it's called the Domus Sancte Marte, which also equals 201 and 312. So how perfect with the ritual of J-Lo. And again, she's 54 years old right now, like Jesuit Order's 54, like their logo's the sun, like Sun's 54, like the Church of the Jesus at Building 54. And then to make no mistake about it, her tour was supposed to start on June 26th, 26/6, like 266. Right now we're in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, the 266th Pope in the history of the church, and the Jesuit motto, Isu Somnum Salvator, is 266. So, again, all roads lead to Rome. And when you learn the code, it becomes way more true than you knew. And just one more thing. I was touching on this last night. as Trump was found guilty 45 days after the trial began in the mega 45 ritual, when again Donald Trump was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner way back in 2011 on April 30th, the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan, 45 days before Trump's birthday, and Obama joked that he'd be number 45. And then since then, a million other 45s have happened, including his ex-wife dying 45 years after their marriage. And then yesterday's verdict, 45 days before her death anniversary. And on and on and on. Stormy Daniels being 45 years old, all this. In light of Trump losing his first wife, who he had his first child with, remember, him and his wife were married in a big 201 ritual, and then he buried her on the 201st day of the year. And then they had their first child, Donald Trump Jr., on the 201st day of Trump's age. Anyway, just one of the other top stories yesterday was this man who murdered his first wife, Chad Daybell. These things are in the headlines at the same time. And I just want you to see something. I want you to think about this and also think about it in light of the basketball game. Chad Daybell equals 77. Donald Trump is 77 years old. Again, yesterday on this same day, the playoffs are set for the finals now after the 77th game of the playoffs with Luka, the Big Four star, number 77, leading the way. Dallas equals 41, established in 1841. Dallas became 4-1 yesterday in the 77 ritual. Remember, United States equals 77, USA equals 41. 41's the 13th prime, 13 stripes, 13 colonies, 13 years of slave school, K to 12. U.S. capitals on the 77th Meridian West. Chad Daybell in reverse is 220, just like Donald John Trump is 220. Chad Daybell is also 58. Donald Trump won the 58th election after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower, plus the million other 58 things that have gone with Trump, including in 1988, Oprah asking if he would be president someday or want to be president someday, when Oprah equals 58 the big way and Oprah Winfrey equals 58 the small way. Now, with regards to Trump's whole mega thing, the highest degree of the Church of Satan, mega is the highest degree of the Church of Satan, mega, Satan equals 55. Chad Daybell's 55 right now. And this guilty verdict for him, found guilty the same day, right? 55 months after he killed his wife. 55 months and 11 days to be exact. But yeah, again, the point is you follow the numbers. You see how the same numbers will show up all over in the sports games. Just like yesterday, Trump's guilty of 34 charges. And then it's Aaron Judge in New York, 34 days after his birthday, smashes his 275th regular season home run all time. Federal government 275, 18th of the season, baseball 18, but so is IHS. Remember last year they made the bases 18 inches. Just symbolic special numbers. And we've been talking about Aaron Judge connected to federal rituals for a long time. And yesterday, just super blatant. 34 days after his birthday, highly symbolic home run. The name of the judge in this thing, Juan Merchant equals 45, going with the verdict coming 45 days later. But yeah, the world is a stage, and the news and the sports are scripted, and they're scripted together, and they're scripted Kabbalistically by this letter and number code that was put together in this system by the Jesuits back in the 16th century. And those are just facts. They're not able to be refuted because they're just facts. The calendar comes from the Jesuits. The Catholic Church gave us the language. They were standardized together at the same time at the end of the 16th century. And this is how things have been rolling. And as time's gone on, they've created new inventions and rolled them out by the code, just like their sports leagues. I mean, you think about the Super Bowl, you play for the Lombardi Trophy. Vince Lombardi, that Jesuit who died unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown. It's always been this way. People just weren't noticing it. So yeah, we'll keep this one short and sweet. Nice, efficient stream. Hopefully more people watch it. Then again, I don't know if it's ever going to be possible to get views again on any of these channels. But yes, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Come join us on Patreon. We're now doing a fun contest every week. Cash giveaway. Today we got a battle between the last two contestants. We're going to see who comes out on top. Looks like this week we're going to have one straightaway winner. So yeah, come join us on Patreon, support the work, learn more about the knowledge, learn how to take advantage of it. And Yeah. Here, let me just check to make sure there's no other breaking news stories before I sign off. Looks like it's all the same news. By the way, just for the record, the name of the officer who got killed in Minnesota. Here, I'll pull it up here for you so you can see it with your own eyes. Just familiar numbers, right? Always teaching about what is 47. His name is Jamal Mitchell. The name of the officer who was killed. So don't you see it with your own eyes? Jamal Mitchell. There's a lot of things that are actually interesting about his numbers here, but the 47 is the one that stands out in a big way. Cop has that 47, just like policeman, like government, like authority, like news, like a number that just shows up way too much in these stories, even when you're not decoding. There's about the big headline out of Taiwan the other day, the 47 Democratic activists. It's there a lot when you pay attention. So, and there might be something to it about how this is synced with the championship game being set, because the first pro basketball championship ever was in the year 47. What's the gematria for Iran? Well, welcome to the channel. We've been talking about Iran. Here, let me see if I just search on my old site if I can find an old Iran 42 post. But Iran has that gematria 42, like war and World War, and they've been baiting war with Iran over here in the West for decades. Hold on, let me just type in Iran 42 and see what pops up. Trump withdraws from Iran nuclear deal on 5/8. Just remember, you guys, that earthquake on his golf course on 4/5 earlier this year that was synced up with Scotty Scheffler, which foretold the Masters. Again, if you guys missed all that, it might sound crazy, but it's true. Again, that golf course was created when Trump was 58 years old, and nuclear weapon and energy equals 58. But Trump, the winner of the 58th election, withdraws from the Iran nuclear deal on 5/8. This is back in 2018. Always talking about Trump in 58, but hold on, that's not what I was looking for. November 24th, 2017, Iran warships heading to Gulf of Mexico to show power. Iran attacks USS Nimitz model and the numeral. Oh yeah, that's right. They had a fake Nimitz model, and they're showing this like to provoke the U.S. The date of that was February 25th, 15. 2 plus 25 plus 15, 42. They did that on the 56th day of the year, like Society of Jesus. Again, the Jesuit-controlled CIA overthrew Iran in 1953, 71 years ago, like Catholic 71, like how this whole war in Israel began 71 days before the Pope's birthday on Putin's 71st birthday. I have I have a lot of posts on Iran in 42 if you go back and look for them. President Trump plans to decertify Iran nuclear deal. This is before he withdrew on May 8th the next year. Iran dismisses ranting Trump and says it will continue to missile test. February 2nd, 2017. That was the 33rd day of the year. Hold on. I know somewhere back here I have some like whoppers, like some much better decodes on Iran. June 20th, 2019, Iran shoots down U.S. drone aircraft. They did that 53 days before Tisha B'Av that year to remember the destruction of the temples. And again, this is what it's all coming to. The eventual day that they pull the trigger and really set off some fireworks in the Middle East. Again, they put out that show Dig about the hardline Zionists want to blow up Temple Mount to build the third temple to bring about the Jewish Messiah. World War I's beginning on Tisha B'Av. Oh, yeah. That was a date with 42 numerology way back when, August 1st, 1914. But yeah, I call Iran 42 land. The other number with Iran, the small way, is 24, like we're in the year 2024, at least according to the Catholic Church. So far, I haven't pulled up any of the posts that I wonder if some of my better posts are gone because Google has deleted a ton of posts from my old site. Mad Dog Mattis, ready to go to war with Iran. This is back in 2016, just for how long they've been baiting this scenario. Remember John McCain asked Mad Dog Mattis when he was getting sworn in as the Secretary of Defense. Uh, he asked him if he was aware of the New World Order. And he was like, yeah, I am aware. I am ready to follow all instructions by the numbers. This one was U.S. has assessed that the attack in Saudi Arabia came from Iran. This is back in 2019. The name of the place that was attacked was Saudi Aramco 42. So anyway, you can always go back and look at old posts, and yeah, Google has been deleting a lot of things on here, but there should be a lot of document. Again, I've been doing this for over a decade. There should be a lot of documentations of Iran in 42. Iran threatens U.S. with consequences on December 30th. That's the only day of the year where you can have the day in the month, and it's 42. 12 plus 30, 42. It's LeBron James's birthday. He's got the 42 connection. Tiger Woods also born that day. You know, about 42 in Black history, especially in sports. Trump to decertify deal with Iran. Look at the headline, old 144. What do you know? Jesuit order, you're fired from 2017. My trolls all be like, Zach used to never talk about the Jesuits. We've been talking about the Jesuits since day one. Go away, trolls. You're wrong. Trolls are always wrong. So, yeah, anyway, 42 land is Iran. Don't feel shy about going and visiting my old websites. Lots of information out there that have been posted over the years. We just talked about Aaron Gordon. For the person who got here late, rewind the stream. We began with Aaron Gordon and the obvious parallels to Bill Walton. Bill Walton, who won that championship for Oregon, played at UCLA like Drew Gordon. What's the latest on North Korea? I mean, isn't this just the same crap as always? Same crap as always. What else would it be? Got a million headlines about North Korea by the numbers. I even have the old documentations of how CNN celebrated the 33rd birthday of the North Korean leader 2 years in a row. His birthday, like in the early days of my research on his Wikipedia and everything, his birthday was 1983, and then they changed it to 1984, like Orwellian year, 1984, where like history is getting rewritten. So they did change the birthday. We've been here long enough to have documented when the world changed the birthday of North Korea's leader. All right, you guys, we'll leave it there for now. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the Patreon for the month ahead. You guys make all the difference. I wish we could get the support up to what it was when I went to New York, or half of what we used to be, which shouldn't have happened. But again, if we can ever get it back up to a more substantial level, again, we'll get out and travel like we have in the past and pound pavement and try to wake people up in the flesh, because a lot of people are not looking for answers, so they need to be brought to them. Got to plant the seeds. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. And if anything crazy happens, I'll surely be back. If not, I'm never gone for long. So until next time, True Seeker.